Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and what we've got today is I'm going to try my hand at plucking the foam in a Plano tactical case. And I don't know how well this is going to go, but we're gonna see. So what I'm going to do is I've got this laid out to where the very top of my scope, let me pan you down here and show you what I've got. So what I've done here, now these cases are pretty interesting and I like the way they're set up. It's got a border all the way around it, as you can see, and these are just pluck squares that is the thickness of this whole piece right here, and then you have a border that goes all the way around it. So you want to stay inside your border. So we're going to put the top of the scope right at the very top line. Alright, and then we're going to do the same thing with the buttstock. So the buttstock is going to go all the way towards that edge. We're not going to do anything with the border. Border stays exactly the way it is. Alright, so this will give us an idea where this gun's going to rest and how many we're going to cut out. So it's lining up pretty good. We're going to have a wide barrel hole, but I want this thing to be as straight as possible. So what I'm going to have to do on the gun is simply just take all them squares out that's in the area of what we're going to cut out. So I'm going to try to make it so that these squares, all I have to do is take the squares out. I don't really need to cut anything. I mean, I'm going to have to cut the squares, cut the notches out of it. But for starters, we're just going to take us a Sharpie and go around it so that we know where the gun is. And when we're done, there ain't going to be any Sharpie left. So let me get a Sharpie. I got two of them because I don't know which ones work and which ones don't. They usually dry up on you. So then I've got my ammo boxes that I make, and this one is slugs and this one is pellets. So I'll have both. So again, I'm going to find out where the corner is, and that's where I'm going to put that first one. Alright, then we're going to find out where we want to decide where we want to put it. So I want at least, see, the edge of this is real close to this. So I'm going to skip the next one and start with the next one. So again, we're going to find the end. And right there is going to be our next one. So we're going to cut that whole square out for each box. And we may come back depending on how far, and I think this one here is, we're going to try to make this a press fit for this one, for the ammo boxes. Now, once we get those squares taken out, we got to cut those squares and keep them all intact throughout the whole box, clear to the bottom, simply because we're going to have to cut those to put one piece back, because we don't want these boxes to be completely buried. So we're going to cut probably about a little less than the thickness of this so that they protrude out of the top. because this is going to go down on it and squeeze it down, so it's going to hold it tight. So that's what our plan is. We may not be able to get it tight. We may have to make it just a hole. I don't know yet. We'll find out. It might be a little too tight for the sideways, because that's a little more than half of it is under the box. So we might be able to get it tight this way, but loose this way. We'll see. We'll have to split the difference. It'll still look okay. So that one goes there. And we know that that's going to take up 1, 2, 3 squares. So it's 3 squares this way, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares this way. So 7 and 3. So, but I'm going to draw them, but I'm going to be real close. I want to be close to it. I don't want to hold it straight up and down. And then I want to put a clip here, so I want to utilize as much space as possible. But I've got 2 clips, so I'm going to do 2 of these, one beside each one of those, and I'll probably have 1 clip of pellets and 1 clip of slugs. That way I am ready for target or hunting. So I want to save some room in case I want to put something else, like maybe a bipod, because eventually I would like to have all my guns have their own personal bipod. So I want to leave enough room that if I want to change it later, I can go ahead and add to it. So these look like pretty good places for those and the gun. And we're probably going to put a fill probe in here also. So that'll be later. I'll do that later. But right now we're just going to do the main parts. So before we start cutting, I want to see what I'm working with. Now that one's going to be right in the line. So we're going to take that whole line out. So we know to cut from here to here. So I'm going to lift this up out of there, and then I'm going to find where I'm going to start. So we're going to go down in here. Actually, it'd probably be better to just leave it in there, because I'm not going to cut anything else. And then we're just going to work our way around, because we don't want to cut into the foam, just the connecting foam, because you want it to look as neat as possible. I mean, anything worth doing is worth taking your time and doing it right, right? Alright, let's hope we didn't do a bad job. I think that'll work perfect. That'll work. Now I'm not worried about this part right here. That makes it fit nice and snug in there. So when this goes down on this, it'll be nice and snug. Now we're probably going to have to relocate this one because I got a little close. So we may move this one over here, but now I got to figure out how I'm going to get rid of that freaking mark. Didn't count on that part right there. I don't know why I got so close. But I may have to move this one. But there is a way to take care of that if I wanted to hide that. There's more than one way to skin a cat, I can tell you that. Is do this. Which means I just learned something. I need to do the next one backwards. So now, guess what? You can't see, but I like my guns facing to the right, so I'm going to have to live with the mark. So then, once we're done, we will glue this to this with spray high-tech glue, spray adhesive, because we want this thing to be nice and snug and bug and snug and all kinds of good stuff. So we'll see if we can work with this. We need 3. Yeah, we're gonna have to move that one. We have to change the location. So let me go ahead and do the suppressor, because that one we know we got it right. Now this one is going to prove to you why we want to take that out in one piece, and I'll show you why that's important. So we'll go ahead and cut this one out. And I hope you guys know how to fillet, because you're getting ready to find out how to fillet foam. Yes, I said fillet. Just like you would a fish. And you don't want to get in no hurry either. Because remember, you're going to have to look at this for the rest of your life. Either that or go buy you a piece of foam and start over. Alright, so now we'll take and fillet this. Yes, I said fillet. But I'm going to use this knife. So I want that to be sticking in there about that much. So we're going to take and put this down here, and I'm just going to put a mark as to where I want it. So I want it to protrude just a little bit. This will be the top, so we want it to protrude a little bit. So we're going to make our mark right there. Alright, and that's where we're going to fillet it. So you want to make sure you got your shit together, because once you do this, it's done. So let's double check. Alright, we're going to be right above our line. And this one's usually my good fillet knife. but it's proven not to be. So we're going to have to try something a little different here. So let's put us a cutting knife here. And we're going to try it this way, because we want that to be nice and straight. Alright, so now that's the suppressor. So now we're going to take this and stuff it back in the hole in the exact orientation that it came out. And voila, we have our suppressor in. So now we got extra foam for putting in y'all's parts when I send them to you, in case I have to send you something that requires foam. Alright, so now we need to deal with this situation. So we're probably going to just move this one to over here. I should have thought this through a little bit better. I probably should have went in that direction. Nope, that still wouldn't have worked. So we can go ahead, we know we're going to do this one. And this one. So I guess the only other thing for us to do is put that one there. And then the other mag here. Like so. I don't see me putting a bipod on this, but if I do, it should fit there. Let me get one. So we may see. All right, we may have to put the this over here. Wouldn't hurt to have the slugs and the pellets separate anyway. So we're going to try it this way. That way I can put a bipod right there. And if I put the bipod in the right direction, hell, I might be able to eliminate that whole thing right there and still be okay. No, we're still going to have some lines. Alright, let's see if we can't relocate this. Let's try to eliminate some of this. See, that's going to go deep enough. Alright, so we're going to cut all that out. Well guys, I didn't realize that my battery was dead, so I don't know how much of that I got, so I guess I won't know until I get it in the editor. This is one thing I can't go redo, so sorry if I'm hoping that it cut out in the speeded up areas, and you've seen how I did it. I got some marks here that I'd like to get rid of, but we're going to have to live with them. Because I had to change my mind. I didn't want that to be a corner that was cut into another hole. So this would have been sticking out there by itself. So I had to rearrange stuff. So this is how, let me see if I got you in frame. So this is our box ready, or case ready to go. This is for the Pro. Got one coming for the M50 that I've got coming. This one's actually for the M50, but since I went ahead and got one for the Pro, I decided to go ahead and just do this one for the Pro and then do the other one for the M50. So that's how I cut mine out, and as you can see, it's a nice even cut across there. It don't look too bad. It actually kind of gives it a even texture. Each line, it just makes it have a texture. So I wasn't going to cut halfway in the middle of those. That just causes you weakness. So you want it to be a complete square as much as possible. Like I didn't want to cut this right here. You know, some people would have just cut that, and then you would have had a little point right here on this one corner where that square started, that every time you put this in there, it's going to hit it and it'll loosen up eventually. So it's best to just do squares where you need it to be. So now we got our suppressor, we got our gun, scoped, and my bipod, pellets, slugs, 2 clips. And eventually we'll do a probe. Actually, we probably just put a probe right there in one of these. No big deal. Or we could just make a little pocket underneath there. I don't know. But anyway, that's how I do mine. I don't know how much video I got, but I guess we'll piece it together somehow. And then all the pieces I got left over, I can use in packages when I send you guys your products. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later. Oh, and don't forget to have your trunk coffee.